What's going on, guys? DFSWarstrike here, and here on this video, I'll be breaking down the Super Bowl 56 showdown slate. If you can't tell, Donald, Ramsey, Rams, LA, I'm more excited than ever. I think at this point, I'm anxious, nervous, excited, every emotion that you think that you could possibly go through. I probably have been through that the last 2 weeks, and now we're finally closing in into the game actually showing up and playing, and I couldn't be more excited in all those emotions that I just said. But with that being said, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Discord, which my link will be posted down below, and then you can also come join my free Discord where we kind of just hang out. I typically give all my plays there. I don't necessarily post everything on Twitter all the time, but it is free either way, so please come join us. Um, Here with the Rams, the showdown slates throughout the season, I cashed on over 60% of the slates. So we've had a pretty good amount of success when it came to Rams showdowns this year. The last couple playoff runs have been iffy. I've been kind of high on Cam Akers, but he's kind of faced some tough run defenses. But we'll get into the slate here. I'm going to start down with team by team, and we'll start with the Rams up top first. With who I like, Cooper Kupp, he's good in all formats. He's going to be chalky. I don't really see Eli Apple or really anybody on Cincinnati being able to stop Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's the best receiver in football. In my eyes, could be biased, but I think he's the MVP of the league. But just won Offensive Player of the Year. Probably my favorite captain in this slate is probably going to be Stafford. Stafford's really gotten a lot better with taking care of the football over the last couple weeks. If you see here, I know he had a turnover, I think, last weekend, yeah, or 2 weeks ago against San Fran, yeah. So he did turn the ball over there, but if you look through his 3 games in the playoffs so far, I mean, 24, 32, 24. I really think too he's starting to spread the ball out a lot more, getting Odell heavily involved. Even Blanton seeing targets and Cooper Kupp as always. So I do like Stafford here, especially if the run game's going to get going. I do like Stafford probably as my favorite captain so far, that I'm seeing in the slate. If you're going to go to the Ram side, Odell, I definitely love here. I think Odell is going to have a monster game. It seems like a lot of people think so as well. But if you see through the playoffs, you see how much he's gotten involved. I mean, against San Fran, he had 11 targets. That's probably been the most involved that he's been all season. Yeah, it's only the second time he's seen double-digit targets all season. So I do like Odell here. I think he's finally found that comfortable rhythm with the Rams offense, and McVay is not afraid to unleash him right now. But I do like Odell in this. Cam Akers, I'm kind of torn with the running back situation. Now, I will tell you, I'm not expecting to see Darrell Henderson on the field. So if you guys see him down at the bottom, I mean, you'd be lucky just to get a reception with the big gain out of it. I don't really see much coming out of Henderson at all. So I'm probably going to avoid him. Cam Akers has faced some pretty tough run defenses over the last couple weeks. As you see, he had San Fran and Tampa. San Fran, he looked pretty good. I mean, 13 carries, 3.7 per average. Wasn't really involved in the passing game as much as I thought he would be. Against Tampa, that's a very tough run defense. He couldn't really move the ball there. That was one of probably the first games where he was fully involved in the offense. Arizona, he was okay. I'm torn between him and Sony Michel. I think Akers draws the ownership, but Sony Michel has the Super Bowl experience, and Sony Michel has won the Super Bowl in New England. So I would like to think that he would have more of the hot hand going into this one. And especially with him, I think he's how much cheaper? Yeah, $1,400 cheaper down here. Like I said, I'm pretty torn. You can see the carries. He had 10 last weekend, which is almost equivalent to Cam Akers. Same receptions. He just hasn't done much since Akers come back. I think the only relevant game he had was Arizona. Tampa Bay didn't really see the field, but I really feel like he's going to be involved in this one just because of his experience, and I think he's going to be able to hold a workload of his own. Um, like I said, I'm torn. I'm personally doing 30 lines, so I'm probably going to be split on these guys 50-50 with what I'm going to have because it's whoever's going to have the hot hand. is going to get the ball. And to me, if I had to choose one or two, Sony Michel's $1,400 cheaper, and Sony Michel has the Super Bowl experience, and Cam Akers has just been he hasn't looked the same since he's come back. He's still kind of struggling. I mean, you see in Tampa, he had those 2 fumbles. Um, hasn't scored yet, but I think the run game for the Rams to be successful in this Super Bowl with Cincinnati not being that heavy of a run defense, I think that the Rams are going to have to run the ball, and it's going to be one of the two. I don't think it's going to be Henderson unless Henderson just gets a big play. Then that way he's viable for GPP. But moving down here to Van Jefferson, I know he's going to draw low ownership. I don't know how much he plays high 80s, low 90s% in snaps. But he's just not seeing the ball that much, man. I mean, what he's had 5 receptions total in this playoffs. It's really just going to Cooper and Odell, and then the tight end spot as well. They've been very heavy on the run the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, that's kind of why I'm going back to the run game needs to get going. Kendall Blanton, man. Kendall Blanton stepped up against San Fran. Now you see here, he's been kind of getting involved in the playoffs. When Higbee went down, Blanton stepped up, had some big plays. 11 points fantasy-wise, 10 points against Tampa. I think Blanton's okay. I'm not against it. I think Blanton's a good option. It's should have decent ownership, but probably nothing too crazy. So I do like him there. Not particularly high on Matt Gay. I don't think he's a bad option. I think both kickers could be viable in this one, just considering it's a Super Bowl. People will probably, the coaches Taylor and McVay will probably be more conservative. I do have a couple lines that have Matt Gay and McPherson in it together because I think that's viable for the Super Bowl. Matt Gay Pro Bowler, I mean, you see here 9, 13, 11 in the playoffs. I mean, him and McPherson are basically getting double digits every week here in the playoffs the last couple of weeks. So I do like Matt Gay if you want to go there. Rams defense, just so you know, with my stacks, basically the only reason why I would choose Rams defenses is me thinking that, okay, Joe Burrow has no time to throw, kind of like last year's Super Bowl. If you see where Mahomes had no time, he was scrambling everywhere, running. I mean, sacks and everything was happening with Mahomes last Super Bowl. That's kind of like my image going into this with Joe Burrow. If you're going to choose the Rams defense, is that Joe Burrow is not going to have enough time to throw. But me in particular, with the way that I see the game going, I see it more, if you're doing one line, I see it more that Cincinnati's going to be able to move the ball. But as the field closes, I think they're going to settle for more field goals than touchdowns in this one. But I don't think Cincinnati's going to struggle moving the ball with quick releases and just quick dump offs out of the backfield. To me, that's what Cincinnati has to do to have success in this game until they can open it up a little bit more in the game. But if they're holding it, hoping for those big plays over top at early, it's probably not going to happen. And then Joe Burrow's probably going to be in a rough afternoon. But if you see here, I mean, they've had 4 interceptions, 1 defensive fumble, 5 sacks, and a defensive touchdown against Arizona so far in the playoffs, which isn't bad. But I see Cincinnati kind of running something similar that San Fran's been running. So that, to me, that's the only reason why I'm not on Rams defense if I'm doing one line. But I am on them since I am doing multiple lines. Henderson, I already told you I'm not really on him. See there against Minnesota since Michel, and I mean, he's not that involved in this offense. I wouldn't go with him. For GPP, Ben SKOWRONEK, I don't think he's terrible. He did have that touchdown drop that brutally killed us. But here, Higbee was out week 14 and 15. See, he only had 1 target against Arizona, but then he had 5 against Seattle, and then basically last week had 1. So the reason why he sees a target or 2 while Higbee's out is because SKOWRONEK is one of the main blockers at the receiver spot. So they really close him in behind the tight end to kind of help seal or with the tackle and seal down or seal out, whatever the scheme is. He's really only on the field for blocking. But I mean, 2 weeks ago, we saw him open down the field for a big touchdown and just went right through his hands. So that's kind of what you're hoping for out of this one. I do think he sees a target or 2 at $600 if he can he can get you to 10 fantasy points or even not even that, like if he can just repeat what he did at Seattle, I think that's well worth your money at $600. Jake Funk's a no. There's Powell's a no because he's just strictly special teams unless you think he's going to take one back. Brycen Hopkins, he sees over 25% of the snaps. He's mainly on for blocking as well. He sees over 25% of the snaps while Higbee's out of the game. So I do think Brycen is viable here. If you want to do that, see, he had a catch there. I mean, this is a total dart of a throw. So don't think that I'm saying play him if you make a couple, even if you make 2 or 3 lines, I don't think you should have Hopkins. But if you're somebody like me where you max in that 20 plus, I do think you should have Hopkins in one of your lines at least in case he gets a dump off at the goal line for a touchdown. For me, that's it. That's really only the value I see with the Rams. And now as we go to Who Dey Nation, Cincinnati, start at the top, Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burr, he's good. He's playing really good. I think he's going to have high completions in this game. I think he's going to be able to move the ball pretty easily against the Rams until they start closing the field, which means that it should be a lot of receptions for Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has, I mean, everybody knows he's Joe Burrow's #1 target, LSU stuff, and he gets high usage, man. 6, 5, 9 receptions in the 3 weeks in the playoffs. His worst game was against Kansas City where he had 17.7 fantasy points. So Jamar Chase, I'm all about if you want to go him. Joe Mixon, last time he played the Rams a couple years ago, he did score a touchdown. He's been pretty great here in the playoffs for them as well. CC had 21 carries for 88 yards. He's had 14, 22, and 11 fantasy points. T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is good for the amount of targets that he's seeing. I may like him more than Jamar Chase just because of the pricing issue, but the last 2 weeks, T. Higgins has really taken a step forward. If he can get involved on the short throws, or even if they can get a couple towards the sideline, I think that'll raise his chances. Tyler Boyd, he gets no yards. That's my only thing with him is he gets receptions, but he goes down instantly. So, I mean, I don't know. Unless he scores a touchdown, I don't really see Tyler Boyd reaching value. GPP only for me. If you see him scoring a touchdown, then yeah, go for it. If not, I'd probably stay off him. Tight end spot for Cincinnati, doesn't really matter who it is to me. I'm probably gonna put him in my core as well. Uzama should play. I think he's going to. He's full participant at practice on Friday, so I think he'll end up playing in this one. If you see how heavily he was involved, as you know, if you guys watched Kansas City game, he got hurt really early. But the playoffs, he's really been relied on. 6 receptions, 64 yards, 7 receptions, 71 yards in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. I'm telling you this now, and this is out of pure frustration. Troy Reeder is the Rams middle linebacker, and he can't cover for Jack. I mean, he can't cover, he can't fill holes to stop the run. Troy Reeder is bad. If you think he's good, I don't know what you've been watching all season, but he has not. I think he's made 1 play is where he forced Kyler Murray to throw the pick 6, and he hasn't done anything all season. So that's why I like CJ here. Over the middle plays, I think CJ is going to have high success. If it's not going to be CJ going into it, then I'm going to drop down to Drew Sample. I think he'll step in just fine, and I think he'll see good receptions and good targets just because Troy Reeder is horrible at covering routes. McPherson, I mean, he's a dog. McPherson's been killing it. It's hard not to like him. 15, 18, 15 over the last 3 weeks, 4, 4, 4. I feel like he's got to be in the core too. I mean, this dude's hit double digits in points for what? Since week 14. I think McPherson's probably somebody you're going to have in your lines with 4K. I think that's a great play as well. Here's kind of where I struggled. Wouldn't touch the defense. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like Piran. I think he just had that big catch. He has 41 yards for a touchdown. I'm not on Piran on this one. I think I'm probably not even going to have ownership that much of it. There's really nobody else as you get down here. Their value's kind of slim. They're kind of minimal with what they use. Yeah, other than that, that's really gonna be I probably won't go below McPherson, honestly. But if I had to throw a little core for you guys, I would probably throw 2 on each side. I'll definitely put Stafford there. That'd be my core. If I had to give one out to you guys, I think Stafford, McPherson, Uzomah, Cooper Kupp. I think you can go multiple ways with that as well. I mean, you can even just I don't know if you can do much with Joe Burrow, just real quick, we'll see. Throw him there. Yeah, not really, unless you take the dart with Skowronek and hope that he gets a big play over the middle. Even if you can't, you can probably go to T. Higgins. You got 7.6. See, then you got 6.2, and then you can go to somebody like SONY. You can drop in like SONY MICHEL. So the way to look at this showdown just before I close it out, I see this game going one of 3 ways. I see my first 2 theories is I see the Rams jumping off to quick starts. Really either way, all 3. I think the Rams are gonna jump on early just because the Bengals have been slow as of late, and the Rams have kinda jumped on teams from the get-go in the playoffs. Um, my first theory, the way I think it's gonna go, is I see the Rams taking the lead early, and then I see Cincinnati making their run, kinda late in the game, and then making it close in between there, kinda like what they did with Kansas City. Um, theory 2, I see the Rams, same thing, Rams jumping early, Bengals making a comeback, and Bengals winning the Super Bowl. Theory 1 was Rams prevailing like they did against Tampa and winning, and then theory 3 is the Rams could just come out and absolutely just beat the crap out of the Bengals, especially if Burrow's not gonna have time to throw with this D line attacking him. I mean, he's been getting smacked the last couple of weeks, um, and now he's facing probably the best D line he's faced here so far. But I mean, you see there, he's put up good numbers. But the Rams are getting to the quarterback as of late and forcing turnovers. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but that's just kind of one of my theories that I'm taking into this game, thinking that is a possibility that Burrow may not have time to throw the ball. Um, I can see Stafford going down, especially if he doesn't step up in the pocket. But other than that, Stafford's really taking care of the ball now. I mean, you see more. Look at his rushing attempts in the playoffs too. He's really starting to be more conservative than he was during the season, and I think that's made a big difference for this offense. But other than that, guys, that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl. You can let me know in the comments who your guys' favorite play is in this slate. Other than that, guys, I appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. Come join our Discord. I'll be posting my article on Twitter as well. And then I'll also be posting my core and stuff, my final core and everything on my Discord. So come on, join us, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl. Go Rams.